Once you start working in components, it's really nice and easy to keep the stuff organized. But pretty quickly, as soon as your project starts to get a little bit bigger, you start to realize one of the major frustrations. And that is that as you import things, you have to do these kind of like // strings to get to the level you want. The problem is, as soon as you move anything in your project, everything breaks. So what I want to show you today is how to set up import aliases in TypeScript or in JavaScript. Let's jump in. Hey, what's up? My name is Chris, and welcome to Coding in Public, where I teach through what I'm currently learning at the time. Now here I've got a project set up that I'm writing out for my Learn Astro course. You can see it's just a simple landing page, but I've got several components already. And if I open up the sidebar, you can see I've got some nested folders as well. Now this is really great for organization, but as you well know, the import statements can be kind of a bear. So if I come in here to this hero, you'll notice that for some of them, I'm going up one level. For others, I'm going up two whole levels. And here's the real kicker. If I were to change this by adding a new folder, like something or something like that, I could drag this in here, but suddenly everything is going to break. Now, Astro is good enough to actually rename a lot of this stuff, but even if you save this, it doesn't always work exactly as you'd expect. So how can we handle this a little bit differently with import aliases? I'm gonna go ahead and close this down. And I happen to be using TypeScript in this project, but you don't have to. And I'll close this down. You can also do this in JavaScript. You would just use a jsconfig.json instead of a tsconfig.json. If I come over here to the Astro docs, they actually walk you through how to do this, but again, not Astro related. This is just what you can do in any project that's using JavaScript or TypeScript. You'll see that I need to add something called compiler options. So let me go ahead and open this up, and let's go ahead and add this. Compiler options, and then we have to add two items. Number one, the base URL. Now, this base URL is basically where it should start looking in the project, and we're going to say it needs to start at the very root of the directory. And then secondly, I need to give it some paths. As you can see here, this is an object that has key value pairs. So here I'm going to start with saying just something like anything with the @ / like this. I'm going to just map this to src /. In other words, anything @ is the same as starting at the source directory. Now, just doing that, if I open back up this hero component, now what I can do is come inside here, and instead of doing all this, I can just use the @ symbol. The @ stands for src, right? And so src assets. And if I change it, it doesn't really matter because it's always starting at src. I don't have to go up multiple levels to get over to this assets directory. Now here, this is a little bit different, right? Here I've got the /UI. Now this is just up one level, and I don't want to have to go up all the way to the src and then down to components and then down to UI. So maybe I want to create a separate little alias just for that one. So I could do that. I could just come in here and say @UI /star. Now I'm going to map this to src components UI /star. In other words, all of this is what this stands for right here. So I'm going to go ahead and close this down. We'll jump back over this way, and now I can just replace this, and I'll hit Command D one more time, replace all those with @UI. Now, obviously here, it's not that big of a deal. We're just going up one level, but no matter where I move this now, it will always link directly to this subdirectory. Now, the nice thing is once you set up import aliases, you can still use your normal syntax. You don't have to go change every single thing. So for instance, if I come over here to the features, you'll see that I'm still just using this syntax, and I can get around to changing it whenever I have time. That's just fine. So it's not like it breaks your normal import rules. It just makes it a little bit easier for you as you continue to move around items, components in your build. Now, one quick note, if you're using Vite, which Astro does under the hood, but it does this for you, I believe. It kind of abstracts a lot of this, but you may need to add this statement to your vite.config.ts file where you're actually telling it to resolve the directory name to .src. And then you would just use it just as normal, right? Just what we just did a second ago. So stop with all the .. and just import aliases. Hey, I hope that was a huge help for you today in understanding why import aliases are helpful and how to set them up. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Happy coding.